I became the janitor of my church because the person who was the janitor was an older man who got sick. And before he got sick, he asked me, would I come on Saturdays to help him clean the church? And I said yes, not because somebody made me say yes, but it just seemed to be the right thing to do.
That's right.
Number one.
That's right.
You can never respond to the call of ministry until you become convicted it is the right thing to do.
That's right.
Number two, at a quarterly conference, the presiding elder, whose name was C.H. Houston, who had a very rough, low bass voice, he talked like this. He said, Bishop Darrell Storm's grandfather was my pastor in those days. He said, President elder Houston said, Dr. Johnson, anybody here need a local preacher's license? And Dr. Baptist Johnson said, yes. I'm sitting there minding my business and fidgeting with some papers. And Dr. Baptist Johnson said, yes, President Elder, Warren Brown is being called to the ministry. That wasn't even funny. It was not entertaining. It was not funny at all when I heard my name, because I had seen the process. So I knew what was happening next. President Elder Houston said, Brother Brown, can you stand up? Yes. And so I stood up. And he said to me, Dr. Bamington Johnson says that you have been called or in the process of being called to ministry. What do you say? There was absolute dead silence in that room, because, listen carefully, I, in my mind, was saying no, but my lips were sealed, and I could not say no. Now, it seemed like forever while I was standing there, because nobody was saying anything, and the seasoned saints that we all talk about, the old folk in the church, pastors, presiding elders, everybody was there. They started to singing, and somebody said, help him, Lord. And I just stood there. And my mother and others said I was crying. And that part I really don't remember. Presiding Elder Houston said to me, are you prepared for this? In my mind, no, I'm not. I don't recall the time frame, but finally, God alone opened my mouth and allowed me to say, yes, I want to preach. That's exactly how it began. I didn't plan to answer the call. I wasn't running from it. Dr. Bamington Johnson had said to me, I was also his driver. So he had said to me on a number of occasions, you ought to think about ministry. I enjoyed church. I was active in my church. So my advice is, you can't run from it. And if you or anybody else is trying to run from it, it's like running on a treadmill. You're going nowhere, but you get an exercise. And God will fix it so that you will have both the will and the desire to say yes. After that part is between you and God, and all other stuff you got to do. And with a sense of humor, I think my time is up. Fast forward, preach my trial, and I had not even preached a trial sermon. I ended up doing that. All of my high school mates, classmates, came to hear me preach my trial. Now you want pressure. My whole class came to hear me preach my trial sermon. I remember to this very minute my text and what I said, and I was up less than 5 minutes because I was scared. So God has a way of molding us, taking us, because ministry, while glorious, is as difficult as it is glorious. People will recognize you, say nice things to you, but it's between you and God. And a good minister is also a good shepherd. So if you can't deal with the sheep, and you only want the cotton and the wool, then you will not be a good minister. If you want to shear the sheep to be bigger, better, brighter, that'll be problematic for you. But it's only when you say, okay, God, I'm going to give you my life. Let's work it out. I'll do what you say do. And I tell you that all that burden is off of me instantly. But it doesn't mean that there are not stress moments in it. It's the best answer I can give you. I've enjoyed my life in ministry. God has been abundantly good to me. I went to serve my first church when I was 18 years old. I'm now 78 years old. Do the math. So I have officially been in the ministry of the Amy Zan Church for 60 years.